During lunch, bro, I would go into the bathroom stalls on my phone, texting, DMing. That's what pisses me off when people are like, I don't have time to do DMs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I was in school for 8 hours and I still sent 100 DMs a day.
Joe McCarthy, the bold personal brand coach and founder of Gem Social.
Creator of the Bulletproof Branding Accelerator. Renowned for growing his Instagram to over 400,000 followers.
And helping thousands of brands scale through refined content, strategy, and brand identity.
People made fun of me like crazy. Someone actually made a fake Joe McCarthy account. And dude, they spun my content, made my face look like an alien. They took my quotes and just turned them around. As soon as I put my face in front of camera and actually got over fear of me talking, I started to blow up.
All right, Joe, so we'll just start at the top for the listeners. What is it you help people do, and then how'd you get into that?
So I basically help people scale up their personal brands, figure out what they're offering, help them structure, refine their offers, fine-tune their targeting, messaging in their content, and then help them use their brands to make money online.
So is it like, would you say it's more overall business consulting, or is it still more on the branding side? Because when I look at your stuff, it seems like it's more on the branding side, but obviously I'm not a client, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely more on the branding side. Like I help a little bit with like the business structure systems, but I feel like first, 30 to 60% or 30 to 50% of my programs is like, okay, we need to figure out what are you offering, who's your target market. Again, like fine tuning the messaging and the content.
Okay.
And so that's very much like branded focus for sure.
Understood. Okay. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make when it comes to branding?
I think they just don't have very good targeting. Like they just don't have very clear foundations. Like they're kind of just posting for the sake of putting out content. They're not really speaking to anyone specifically. So they don't do the deep work on like figuring out who their target market is. They don't do the work on figuring out what they need help with, what their problems are, what their outcomes are, how they specifically help them. So I think it's just like the foundational things. And they also don't know who they are maybe as a person, right? Like I feel like a lot of people are regurgitating a lot of content because they just see what other people are posting. They see it's going viral. So they're like, okay, let me just copy and paste this, regurgitate, repost. But they're not actually like finding their own voice. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing is foundational type stuff.
Do you think when it comes to content then, is it the biggest issues more, how do I put it, more they figure out who they are and their messaging and stuff like that, or is it more the strategy behind how they find their content? So maybe, for example, if you were going out and you're trying to find clips or something, you're trying to find maybe, hey, we're going to shoot this type of stuff. Is it more an issue with that, or is it more an issue just kind of the basics of business, so to speak?
I would say it's the basics of business. They just don't understand it. The other thing, we can get into this too, like the offer structure, like that's a huge thing too. You can have the best content in the world, best brand in the world, but it's like if your offer sucks, you're not charging enough. It's not like built to scale. It's like you're kind of,
unless it goes like super viral. So the only time I've seen, people get around that is they just have so much traffic, right? And so they're really inefficient, but they just have so much traffic. I would say for the average person listening or a business owner, you're not going to get huge amounts of traffic, like unless you go way off brand. Like, so there was even a time I would say, me and my team, we were trying to go more viral and stuff, but it was so off brand.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're just finding trends. You're kind of just doing what everyone else is doing. So it's not on brand.
Right. Yeah. So I think for most people, if they can figure out what their offer is and those things you were talking about and then go from there, that's going to be a better step on it.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
What are some of the best ways that someone could turn their traffic into sales? So I know that's a broad question, but let's say, you're posting content and you're getting views and stuff like that. What are some of the best ways they can then take those views and turn them into sales? Because some creators, like, they just don't really know.
Yeah. Well, what's insane, and I've actually seen this in your content, is just DM outreach. It's like people they're either too lazy or they just don't know that like you can. I literally built my business, made hundreds of thousands of dollars by DMing people cold and then DMing my followers. That's a big thing too. It's like if you are actually building traction, like you're actually getting followers, you're growing your account, you're getting likes and comments. It's like, why would you not message those people, say, hey, thanks for following. How long have you been doing coaching for?
Right.
And then you build that conversation, you turn that into a call. Like I'm still to this day, I have an assistant in my DMs. We're sending 50 cold DMs per day, closing deals there. We're sending, depending on how many followers I get, 10, 15, 20 DMs per day at least, just off of people that are following me, all inbound. It's like, why wouldn't you do that?
The cold DMs, let's talk about that, because a lot of people, they say they don't work, etc. So when you're doing a cold outreach, where are you going usually to find these people? And then what does the first message sound like?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I know you said Facebook groups. I tried that, and I honestly didn't see huge results. Like what I do personally is I'll go to other pages. So for me personally, I target a lot of like fitness coaches, fitness influencers, fitness, people that may have like like training in person, but they want to take it online. So I'll just think in my head, like, okay, where are these people kind of hanging out on social media? So they're probably following guys like Brian Mark or just these other coaches. So I'll either message the people that those people are following. So like I haven't done this for you, but like let's say I want to target like high-end entrepreneurs. Right. I might go to your page if hypothetically you were following 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. I'll click that and I'll go through. I might even look up the keyword coach so I can just skip through all the random people you're following.
Sure.
But I'll message those people, and then typically they're following like mutually, like they're going to be following similar type of accounts. Yeah. So like let's say I want to target like high-end like coaches, entrepreneurs, like Dan Fleshman type guys. I'll go to his page, message all of his followers, and then I'll go to other pages mutually and just kind of go through their following and just
Are the followers restricted at this point though? So when you say that, I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you go to my list and you click on my followers. It doesn't show all the followers anymore.
So
right?
not followers, following. So
who they're following.
Yeah, so you're not following a lot of people. But me, I'm following like a shit ton of people. So I'm following like 7,000 people. So hypothetically, you could say,
"Oh, understood." So you're finding the person they're following.
Exactly.
And then once you find but I guess like I'm confused on that part. So you find the person they're following, then do you go to that person and then you're messaging people who are like
I'll typically just tap out the list. So like if, let's say for me, and I know a lot of people go to my page because I'm following like really solid people because I've DM'd people for the past 7 years on my account and they're very targeted. So, let's say you were to use my list of 7,000 people I'm following. You could go to my page, go to the following list, and you could scroll down. I mean, you could tap that out for weeks.
Oh, so you're saying like you'll just go through that following list?
Yeah,
oh, okay. Because I guess in my head, because I don't, like you said, I don't follow a lot of people, so I'm thinking that's not enough. But if someone's following a lot, then it is a lot.
It is, and there's a lot of fitness guys. Even if it's 2,000 or 3,000, like you think about it, you really can't send maybe 50, 100 DMs per day. So it's like that's a month's worth of
it's like it's like time.
And then when you tap that out, go to the next person.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's a good tip for some people to hear, and I like that strategy better because, like you said, Facebook groups are kind of beat up.
Yeah, I've tried.
I was gonna say something I did back in the days. I actually did IG hashtags, but
I used to do that.
But what you're saying actually makes I like it better in the sense that they're going to be better looks probably because they're following them, so they're more targeted. Versus if you go to IG hashtags, it's like you're getting all kinds of stuff. There's
and another tip too for like, let's say you want to scale that up, like you don't necessarily want to be doing the DMs yourself. So I have an assistant. So like what I'll do like 1 or 2 times per month is I'll just give them a new page. So I'll be like, hey, here's this page. He's a coach in the fitness space. He's following 4,000 people. So I'll be like, here's a new page. Tap out this list. Just go crazy on it.
That's interesting.
It's so much more.
Well, and it makes it way easier for your team too because
I literally send them 2 pages. They're like, okay, I'm on it. And I'll check. I'll go through my DMs. I'll be like, okay, yeah, these are super on point.
Interesting.
Very good.
Yeah, quality. I like that. That's actually that's super smart. And then the ones they're following.
Yeah, and then that's super. Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that's interesting to me is because usually what you'll do, like at least in the past, what I would do. And when I'm thinking about this is you'd go to who's like their followers because I'm like
you can't do that.
You can't do that anymore. Yeah. But if you're doing who they're following, that's a little more interesting.
But you know what's also interesting is the only reason you can't see who's following you, like your followers, the 400K or whatever, is because you're verified. Whether it's the meta verified or like the real verification, whatever, you can't see it. You can only see like the first
it's
30.
interesting.
But with company pages, it's way harder for them to get verified. So what I'll do, like I don't know if you know, like Garrett J, Wake Up Warrior, those like businesses, like they have like the coaching. I'll go to Wake Up Warrior. I don't know how they have like let's say 12,000 followers. Obviously, if you're following Wake Up Warrior, you're like a high level, high performance guy. So my team's like tapped out that list, the max, and those are examples. If it's not verified, you can actually go to the followers and just scroll. You can actually type it too. You can say coach. So literally put in the followers coach, and the only people that are going to show up are people that have coach in their bio, in the name, the username, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think for the listeners, if you guys are listening, these are little nuggets you guys can take that don't cost any money, and these are very good strategies to get off the ground. Like if you're just trying to get your business off the ground, I mean, this is how I survived back in the day.
Oh yeah, I spent 5 years just DMing people.
Yeah. Okay, so because it's called infinite income, I think one of the things listeners like to hear is how you make money in your business. So what I'd like to know is your sales process. How do you normally get sales? Is it ads? Is it outreach? Is it a mix? Like, talk us through your sales process for your business.
Yeah, good question. So currently it's a mix, but again, I was talking to your assistant. For the first 4 to 5 years, it was just direct outreach, organic, people in.
Really? So that's all you did?
That's all I did. Wow. I literally didn't start running ads in probably like 8 to 10 months ago, if I'm being completely honest. And that's actually one thing that I really hark on is I feel like a lot of people get into paid ads way too quickly. They don't have the proof of concept necessarily for their offers, for the pricing. Like they don't even know.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Like, meaning I would like someone to get into paid ads as soon as they can. But if they don't have a good offer, if they haven't proven that they can make like a lot of times it's a skill issue.
It is
like they suck at messaging, they suck at sales, and they think that ads will save them. It's like, no, that's going to make it worse because you don't actually have the skills.
And something that I've seen a lot of people do too is they do get into ads really quick and they rely 100% on ads. So they're putting all their eggs in this one basket. So they're not really getting organic traction. They're not really getting any inbound leads. They're not doing outreach or anything, with just organic DM outreach. So it's like something might happen. Like this has happened for a couple people I know where their ads manager account just completely gets shut down or banned or something switches within like how their ads are working. And then it goes to zero, like they flatline and they don't have organic traffic. So for me, I spent the first 5 years of me building my brand, like really honing in on my audience, my content, running organic outreach systems. Like we're sending like 300-400 DMs per day now through like multiple accounts.
Oh, wow.
So I know like
So you have multiple IG accounts.
Yeah, like backup accounts or whatever. My main account does like infinitely better than like these backup accounts.
Of course,
but, hey, a couple sales here and there from the other ones. So what I was saying is like I have the organic already dialed in, so now I can scale what's working with paid ads versus just going all in on paid ads and just hoping.
Yeah, something else I just want to point out is I tell clients, I'll say, look, if you're making sales organically, like I have a client who's doing $100,000 a month organically.
Yeah, that makes perfect
You can
sense.
spend $100,000 on ads, and all that is just extra. It's just gravy. And a lot of people don't think of it that way. So, when you're running ads too, ads are up and down, regardless of how good they do. Some months are better than others. It's a little bit like a roller coaster. So if you have organic traffic that comes in, that just stabilizes your business and makes it even more profitable and safer.
Big time. Like I think, eventually you do have to get into ads to scale, but I think most people just skip over. They want that quick fix. They're like, oh, outreach isn't working. I've done it for 3 months.
And it's just usually people are lazy. So, if you do the opposite, I would say for the only caveat I would say is obviously like depending on how big the business is trying to get, there's only so much outreach will do. Because, even if you're doing the maximum outreach, there's only so many sales you're going to make. And so that's where you have to get into paid ads or you have to just get more into viral content. Like you have to, you've probably seen it, Ashton Hall recently,
Big time.
His little face.
Worn every teen shit.
I actually do the same
I'm
thing.
surprised you haven't come out with that Saratoga.
We've talked about it, but I actually have a cold plunge out on the deck, and I start laughing because I think of his little
banana.
Yeah, but he's
worked.
getting so much traffic. I don't even know what he's selling right now, but
you don't even see any links in there. Apparently, he's doing millions per month. But
I don't know about that. I mean, I could be wrong. So, but he's doing enough.
Okay.
He's definitely getting DMs. He's definitely making sales, no matter how you want to slice it.
Big time.
The average person you help usually, who are they or what do they do? Is it usually beginners? Is it middle of the ground? Is it higher level entrepreneurs? Is it a mix? Like, what's the average person you work with?
So I would say it's mostly beginners. Or I would say it's like people that in the fitness space, for instance, maybe they're doing a lot of in-person training. It's not obviously scalable. They're getting like $70 an hour or whatever it is. And they see these online fitness guys just crushing it, doing 20, 50, 100K per month. So they want to do that, but they're like, I don't have any online offer. I can't scale my brand. I don't know what content to post. So it's definitely like more like the beginning stages, like structuring out some kind of online offer, mid to high ticket. And then just showing them how to like set up their content properly, create a system and a process for the creation so they can like be consistent with that. And then showing them eventually how to like start doing outreach, start to at least get some inbound leads so that way once they start making money, then they can, port it into paid traffic.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I saw a story where there's a little kid in there, but I don't know if it was your kid or someone else's. Like, are you married? Do you have kids?
Yep. Married 2 years.
How long have you been married?
So I got married at 19. So
Oh,
it's been
wow.
5 years. Bro, I'm from
you're-
like the boonies, Virginia. So I'm like rural,
Wow.
high school.
So you're only like, you're like 22.
22.
Wow,
I'll be 23
bro.
soon. But
Okay, so yeah, we're
I think
gonna
you
go.
got like a decade on me or something.
Yeah, we got to go there. Yeah, I'm 33, bro. Yeah, so we got to go there. So what, I first thing I want to know is what made you get married that young? And be as honest as you want, or you don't have to go there depending on what it is. And then number two is like, how has that affected your business? So let's start there. Yeah.
Yeah, good question. So, like I said, I met my wife in high school. So I think I was 15 or 16 at the time.
Wow.
And so, I mean, we were.
This is a big high school. How big was it?
Dude, it was so small. I think it was like 500. Dude, it was a private school. It's so small.
So funny.
Christian school, dude.
Love it.
It was so small.
And you said you were in Virginia, right?
Yeah, Virginia.
Okay.
And I actually came from a big family. I think you also have a good amount of
million siblings. Yeah.
Dude, I think I have more. I got like 11 siblings.
Gosh.
So,
okay.
dude,
like, how were you raised? Like, what religion?
Catholic.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
I was raised Mormon, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, same religious. Huge family. So you can picture it. Northern Virginia, rural, huge family. Met my high school sweetheart at 16. So, I mean, like, fast forward, 4 or 5 years, I was like we were all on the same page. Like, we already knew how many kids we want, like 4, 5, 6, whatever. She was very on board with me going into business. She knew how driven I was, even at like an early age in high school. So, like, she was super on board with, like, do what you want, go to work. I don't care if you're working for 12, 15 hours a day, whatever. So, we were always on the same page. Like, there were never any fights and shit and drama. Like, I feel like a lot of people have, like, really crazy relationships, and I never had to encounter that because I met her really young. So, like, she knew me when, literally, I was a kid. So, I had nothing, right? So, didn't have to go through, like, just, stuff that you might have to go through now where it's like you got tons of money. So, it's like,
I mean, that's,
you almost have to understand the intention of, like,
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's a good point.
So that's why, I mean, we were on the same page. I was like, might as well get married because it's probably gonna happen eventually. And then, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, 3, 4 months later, got pregnant. Had my daughter. I think I was like 20 at the time. So yeah, she's like she just turned 2. So when I got married, there really wasn't any like differentiator in my income or motivation.
Did that motivate you to get married? I'm just curious. Like, my brother is funny. We were making jokes in the family who'd get first like unplanned pregnancy per se, and it was him. They thought it was going to be me, but
funny.
Like, did that put any pressure on you to do it?
It did,
okay.
Yeah. So like I was going to say is when I got married, there wasn't really any huge change in like my motivation or income because it's like I already hung out with her like every day. She was at my house.
Sure.
The only thing that was different is like, okay, I have a ring and we're married. So, but when she got pregnant and we were about to have a kid, like I hit my record month that February that she was born. So like, I wasn't sleeping at all. I don't know how I made the money that I made at the time, but something clicks and it's like, okay, wait, and now I have this like little helpless child that I need to feed. So it did actually motivate me. I made more. So I feel like a lot of people,
I've heard that before too. Like, I can't say from experience, but I've heard like the more, like, it makes you even more focused on like getting shit done. Yeah,
and it just gives you a bigger purpose. It's like at the end of the day, it's like I can't just make all this money and help these people just for the sake of making money and helping people. It's like now I have a legacy, wife, daughter. Like, they need me. You know what I mean? So it kind of just put like at the time it put a fire under my ass to like, okay, now I have to actually depend on this kid. So definitely made me even. I was already mature as a young kid, but that like raised it even to a higher degree.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty. Most guys are not married at your age or have a kid. How has that affected business? Has it made it easier? Has it made it harder? I mean, what also made you move to Fort Lauderdale? Like, you were living in Virginia and then you live in Fort Lauderdale. Go down that route.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was always coming down here. Like, I would travel down here for like events or networking. Like, I'm in the digital marketing, like personal branding space. So a ton of guys are down here. So I'd say part one is just for like the networking. The weather's obviously nice. Like, Virginia gets 20, 30 degrees. It's horrible. So that alone, I was like, this is a good spot. Fort Lauderdale specifically, like I said, I have a kid, so I don't really want to be like in the heart of Brickell necessarily with a kid. It's kind of like,
I might be done with this area. It's Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale's a vibe, honestly.
Yeah,
no traffic. It's
and I think, I just think like most people, if you're having a family, like you won't be in this area.
Yeah, exactly. So Fort Lauderdale is kind of like a good mix. It's like I'm 40 minutes away from here. I can come down and see people like you and network, make connections, and then if I need to, go to Pompano, Palm Beach, whatever. Yeah. A lot of guys, like another thing I used to do in high school is I would sell for another like agency. So like I became like one of the top closers at this agency, like literally in high school at like 17. Like I was the top dog.
Wow.
Yeah. And so like I was crushing all the other sales guys and they were like 20, 25, 30. And so at the time I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm making good money, but I kind of wanted to start something of my own, That's where like this personal branding, like accelerator, business coaching kind of.
How long ago did you start that? So, you were already doing jobs in high school and shit.
Yeah.
When did you start this business?
So I got into high ticket sales probably 15 or 16. Wow. Crushed that for like 3 years, made a ton of money.
How did you do that? Were you doing it while you were at school?
Yeah, I was literally.
So you do it after school?
Like I said, it was a Christian school. So like phones were not allowed. So what I would do is during lunch, bro, I would go into the bathroom stalls. I would be on my phone texting, DMing. I'm pretty sure I DM'd probably like you probably have DMs. If you scroll up, I probably DM'd you at some point. I've literally DM'd every single person. I was in there. So like that's what pisses me off when people are like, I don't have time to do DMs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you're not, of course, yeah.
Make time. Like I was in school for 8 hours and I still sent 100 DMs a day. And I would even get on calls sometimes too, like if the teachers weren't like lurking around. But that's literally what I did. And then, yeah, like after school from like, it was also an hour drive to school. I hated school, bro. I skipped college because I was just like, like these exams and I just, yeah.
So like, what did your family, like you didn't go to college, you started a business what age were you when you started business?
So I started this business actually quite recently, like 9 months ago.
What were you doing before this?
The high ticket sales.
Okay, so you're kind of new in this. Wow, okay.
Yeah, bro.
What did your family think? Did they care? Like, were they supportive or?
Well, so the funny thing is, my dad's a lawyer. So you expect him to be like, oh, you got to go to school. And
yeah, 100%.
Because he went to like 8 years of law school. And he's very successful, runs a couple of his own law firms. But so at the time, I definitely don't think that it was not really on their radar. I think they just expected their kids to go to college, just to go down the traditional route. I actually, funny enough, the first time I kind of got this like taste of entrepreneurship, like the online guru space, was Tai Lopez. So I invested into one of his courses. My dad was like, I think that's kind of a scam. Like, don't invest into that. I did it anyways. I spent like $400 or $500. At the time it was like maybe 2019, and it worked. Like it was a lot of good stuff, and I implemented that into my personal brand. So I basically just took that, ran with it, did high ticket sales for 3 years, and then launched this company, Gem Social, which is my like actual business, which is completely separate from the high ticket stuff or the high ticket sales. So my parents at the time, they were like, they could tell I was motivated. They originally probably wanted me to go to college, but they kind of saw like he's motivated. And my dad's also like very level headed. Like he always gave me like entrepreneur, like he got me into like Napoleon Hill and, even Grant Cardone, the 10X rule and all that. So he was actually a really good kind of catalyst into me learning about entrepreneurship. So I think they realized like, okay, whether he goes to college or not, he's probably going to like crush it in life, which, lucky for them, it's turned out pretty well so far. I'm their first kid, which is even crazier.
Oh, so out of the
22,
you're one of 11 and you're the first kid.
I think it's one of 12. I think I have 11 siblings.
11 siblings.
As far as I know.
One of 12.
Dude, they're,
wow.
Yeah.
So you're the oldest.
Yes.
Wow.
What are you? What?
So I'm the oldest boy.
Okay.
But I have two older sisters. Yeah. But I get the cool thing is you're probably going to I'm curious what your brothers are going to do.
Yeah. So my little brother, he just got out of high school. So I think he kind of has that entrepreneur itch as well. Like he's gotten into like Iman Gadzi and, some of those guys.
Interesting.
So I can kind of see him going down the route. I don't think he's definitely not as motivated as I was because I was moved out at 18.
That's different than what's interesting about your age group is, business and all that stuff is a little bit more prevalent. I think when I was doing it, I just went to school because I was playing football. And then when that ended, I just had a mentor who was like, bro, like you should definitely start a business. I had no idea about anything.
Yeah.
Both my brothers worked for me. They work hard, but I think like to be an entrepreneur, you really got to have an itch because if not, when things get tough, you're just not going to push through. It's a little easier when you have, a stable position, so to speak, because end of the day, it's like, this is what I need to do, and as long as I do that, I'm good.
Yeah, big time.
But that's interesting, especially like you being the first boy. So you're kind of like on your own path. Like, I'm kind of curious also, what made you go down that route being in Virginia? I'm sure no one else was really doing that.
No.
You must have been out like all by
yourself. I was a very big outcast. Yeah, people made fun of me like crazy in high school. So my page is at real Joe McCarthy. Someone actually made a fake Joe McCarthy account. And dude, they spun my content, made my face look like an alien. They took my quotes and just turned them around. I would crack up looking at that stuff. I'm like, how did somebody take all that time to... It was clever stuff. I'll give them credit, but I still have no idea who did it. But yeah, at fake Joe McCarthy, I'm pretty sure it's still out there. But I got a lot of hate in high school, but I was just like, whatever. It's, I guess, comes with it.
Yeah, I think that's commendable. The only reason I say that is because, the way I grew up, my dad, I didn't know at the time, but my dad, one of the hardest workers I've ever met.
Yeah. Really
big into sports. So, like as your son, you just kind of do what your dad does usually.
Yeah.
And there was really bro, I didn't even really have social media at that time. The only reason I got social media is so girls didn't think I was weird, because I thought social media was stupid. I remember people, this is Instagram. I was like, it's the same thing as Facebook. This is stupid. Now there's like a million social media platforms.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have that influence. Like and it wasn't. I just didn't know it existed. I didn't know this space was out there until I was around 25.
Yeah.
So I was older than you when I actually started like making money. I didn't really even know that was existent. So good for you. Like it's commendable to like go out there and kind of get there on your own. What kind of sparked? You said Tai Lopez. Was that the big thing that sparked it when you saw that, or what was kind of the big thing that made you think, I'm going to go down this path that is a little unordinary?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it originally. So my personal brand really started popping off in like 2019, 2020, like especially when COVID happened, like everybody was on their phones. And so I was just like, what I did is I read like probably 50 to 60 just entrepreneurship books, like all the classics. So what I would do is I'd read those books, take like quotes from them or just random stuff that I would learn from those books. Like you can scroll back on my page and it literally is me in a field on the farm trying to talk to the camera, talking about like what I'm learning and just motivation basically. So that's kind of like where it started. And then I didn't really think about it as a business necessarily until I took the Tai Lopez thing. So I was already kind of like posting.
Oh, you took his actual course.
I did SMMA. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah. And the OG days.
Yeah. So like that was like when it was like the first one. Like he's come out with like 2.0, 3.0, whatever. So I took the original course and went through that. Like I said, I got some good information. And he was talking about like at the time, like I guess it was charging dentists or whatever, like $3,000 or whatever per month. So I was thinking like, holy shit, like you can charge a dentist $3,000 per month per client. If I get 4 clients or whatever, I'm making $12,000. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So I was thinking like, okay, I guess it's possible. Like he's got like students or whatever doing it. So I think that's where it kind of like started to click. And I was like, okay, wait, so build my brand, become kind of an authority in some kind of space, market for people.
But I mean, you went down the closer route until recently. So even though you saw that, what made you go down the closer route?
Closer route was just easy money. I mean, like I realized that I had a knack for sales at the time. Yeah. And my partner, Dre, he's also in the Edgewater area. He's a super, super solid guy. He came to my wedding. So he runs this, like, I don't know if you know Grow, this agency, but he runs this massive company. And so like I was one of the sales guys for him, and like we were really close buddies. We still are. And so I basically just sold for him, made a lot of money. And what I would do is I would take all that money and invest it into coaches and mentors and courses and webinars and seminars. And I, at the time, when I just got out of high school, I probably spent like 20, 25K just on like coaches and mentors. So I already had kind of like a direction for like where I could go and like just honing in on my skills. Like fast forward till today, like I've probably spent 120K at this point on like coaching, mentors, like people like your stuff and things like that, just to get, you obviously know like mentorship collapses time. Yeah, so I did that. And I just didn't want, I think it also was probably a story in my head. Like I was 20 at the time, 22 at this point. I felt like I probably just felt like a fraud. Like I couldn't charge, like I basically charge 4 to 6K now, which compared to your stuff is cheap, right? Yeah. But even for me, it's like I'm 22 charging 6K. Like who am I to charge that? And like I have clients twice my age.
Yeah.
So
you're on the right path for sure. I mean, when I was 22, I was starting to understand, like I was starting to get into business, but I still didn't really have a grasp of what you could do, or I didn't really have any mentorship until I was 25. So I mean, kudos to you. And if I could go back in time, it's always 2020, but I was so obsessed with sports that I was, man, if I had taken that same effort and put it into business, I would have made more money even sooner, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
You're 22 years old, kind of a young buck, like making good money. What are some non-negotiables in your life, if any? Do you have anything that I have to do this, or like Ashton Hall has his little we were talking about his little
my face.
his little facial routine. Like, do you have anything that I have to do this, I do these things, or I don't do this, and that's really helps me in my life?
I mean, at this point, because I'm married and I have a family, it's definitely non-negotiable to be with them. Like, I try to take my wife out on a date night at least every Friday or Saturday, just to make sure that we have that one-on-one time.
Sure.
So, like, when you get married and have kids, it's completely different. I would say, like, in business, I mean, not really. I mean, I just kind of, I skip the more, like, I even see Alex Ramosi, he's like, you don't need, like, a 20-step morning routine to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't know what yours looks like, but I get up, I turn on my phone, respond to texts, and then I'm immediately off to work, basically. So I just get to work, put in.
No, that's good. I think for me, I wouldn't say I don't think I have too much of a routine now. Like, I get up, I go straight to the gym. That's just good for me.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, you can.
I do have a sauna, I do have a cold plunge, but I wouldn't say. I want to say I'm like religious about it. It's not like I have to do it, but I do it quite a bit just because it makes me feel better.
Yeah, self-care is super important.
Yeah, it just makes me feel better. Okay, so that's good. Do you have any mentors or that you look up to, like certain people you're like, hey, I really pull inspiration from them? Or are there any books that you've read that, hey, these books are really helpful? Like, where do you kind of look for either learning or inspiration that's really been helpful for you?
Well, I have this one coach, Brody Kern. So I work with him like really closely one-on-one. I know him personally. So he's been like one of the biggest mentors just with honing in on my branding and content systems and building out my own offer. I guess on like a broader level, I briefly mentioned like Garrett White. Like, he's got 5 daughters.
Does he really? Does he have 5?
Yeah, dude. And he just moved down here too. Like, I think you were speaking.
Yeah, I saw him recently.
I think you guys were speaking at the elevator.
Yeah, I saw him recently. I've talked to him a couple times. I don't know him that well, but I didn't know he had 5 daughters.
No, so he's got 5 daughters, a son. His marriage is on fire. Yeah. He coaches thousands of men. He's basically like the godfather of
he's jacked.
men's coaching.
He's super
jacked,
stuff,
bro. So he's got shit on point. Faith, family, finance, fitness. So I think for him, I definitely look up to him. He's super solid. Like I said, my dad, I think, is he also works really hard. 12 kids, I can't imagine that's super easy.
He's got to be making that paper.
Yeah, so I mean, he's keeping it on check pretty well for having 12 kids and all that. So I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I look up to him. Other than that, just, a couple small mentors here and there. And then books, you mentioned books. I mean, there's the classics. I really liked Grant Cardone's 10X Rule. It's super simple and it's like super easy to understand. But at the time, I read it when I was like 16.
Yeah.
And it taught me to have big freaking goals. You know what I mean? So like, I might have a goal for like 8 to 10K per month at the time. I was like, I might as well just shoot for 20K and then maybe I'll make a little bit more. And it almost always happens. Like, I didn't hit my goal necessarily, but because I shot for the roof or shot for the moon, it's like, maybe you don't get there, but you double what you thought you would do. So it taught me to set big goals at the start, have high standards.
Well, his book is funny. You mentioned Grant Cardone. I don't love him or hate him, so I don't want to say that. It's just like he gets a lot of
a lot of hate.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff. But he had a book called Sell or Be Sold, and there was a I remember I was on the come up and I read a line. I'll paraphrase it, but it was something like, it's your responsibility to be successful for your family. Nobody else is going to do it. And I just remember like reading that and like I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it for my family. So I actually appreciate his book, and he's pretty much my style. He's pretty direct. He's pretty blunt.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. I don't really like a lot of the rah stuff. So he's he's been in the game for a while now. So like, I don't follow him as closely or anything like that, but he definitely had some stuff that helped me along the way that inspired me.
Yeah,
that was definitely one of those books. Probably along the same line. I know we said, well, actually that's too much along the same line. Before we wrap up, I guess what I would like to know is if there's a young guy listening, you're 22 years old, so you're probably the most qualified to actually give that advice. If someone's young and they're listening, and they want to not necessarily maybe even own a business, but they want to have a better life, make more money, what are some things that you would maybe encourage them to do? maybe even like your brothers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people say, if you go back in time, what would you do? I tell people, I said, bro, I wish I'd hired a coach sooner. I wish I hadn't played sports quite as much. And I actually think those helped me a lot, but until I was 22 years old, all I wanted to do was play in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that took me down, kind of a pointless route, so to speak.
Not as relevant.
So is there anything you tell them to do, like, hey, do sales or read these books or like ask these questions or hire these people? Is there anything that you would give maybe the young guys?
I think at first it just comes down to like getting clear on what you want. I think people, they get into business because it's flashy and shiny and everybody's doing it, but they don't really know why they're doing it. So like for me, I tried to get really clear on like, why did I want to build my personal brand? Why did I want to help the people that I'm helping? Why did I want to start my own business? Why not go be an entrepreneur and work with some other guy and scale up with them? Why did I want to take all the risk and build my own thing? So I think just getting clear on that is going to help you with, especially like the hard days where it's like shit's just, on fire, not going well. And you're like, why am I doing this? You tie it back to the why. It's like, I think there's the quote, like you have, or as long as you have like, what is it, Nietzsche? If he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. So it's like, if you got a really strong why, you're not going to quit when shit gets tough. So I'd say number one, get super focused and like clear on like what you want, like your goals. Like I have very vivid pictures of like what I want in the future. And so for instance, when I have a hard day, I just look to the future. I'm like, if I give up now, I'm not going to have that. If I give up now, I'm not helping the people that I want to help. So just getting clear on that stuff is foundational. And another thing is I definitely would say more practical, get into sales. Like sales is life. Like everything is sales at this point. So, if you can crush sales, like I've invested at this point $15K just in like the sales side alone. And that's been like the biggest thing when it comes to increasing my finances. Like if you can get in high ticket sales, you come on board with someone like me or you, if we're scaling, eventually we need to hire closers. So just super easy. You don't have to handle fulfillment. You just close deals, get the commission, send the client to the guys that actually fulfill it, and you just rinse and repeat, make money.
Yeah, for me specifically, it was door-to-door sales. Like high ticket sales is great, but I would even tell guys, if you do door-to-door, I think the biggest thing that helped me with that was it's just the amount of reps, and it's so hard. Yeah, like when I started doing high ticket sales on the phone, I was like in my underwear in the AC, and I'm like, this is a joke, because they wanted it. But I would agree with you, like sales is big. Before we end off, like one thing I always like to ask is there a question I should have asked you, or maybe asked you about a topic that I didn't? I know that's like a harder question to answer, but if there's anything that I didn't ask you that I should have, that would be helpful for the audience. Do you have anything around that?
That is a good question. I don't know, maybe something about mindset, because I think that one thing I kind of skipped over was, especially in business, is I kind of got right into sales. I got right into posting. I got right into wanting to make money and build my brand. And I didn't really hone in my mindset. So I think a lot of people, they kind of skip over that. They don't really think about like, how is my mindset going into this? They, maybe judge themselves too harshly, or they compare themselves to other people, especially in Miami down here. It's like,
of course,
you have 19, 20-year-old. I'm young, and I compare myself to 20-year-olds who are making $100K per month, supposedly. But you see these guys on social media, and it's just like you compare yourself to them, and that automatically makes you feel like shit, instead of comparing yourself to them and being like, that shows that it's possible.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of inspiring me. So I think for me, I had to do a lot of like deep work on, again, like feeling like a fraud. I was young. I think the reason I launched this offer a year sooner is just literally because of my mindset.
Yeah.
Me posting on camera, like it took me 2 years to like actually put my face in front of camera, to the point that like I was just posting random quotes, and like it wasn't growing. As soon as I put my face in front of camera and actually got over my fear of me talking, I started to blow up.
I think it's also as like a young guy, I don't know how much this plays into it, but like when I look at Iman Gadzhi, I think part of what draws people is like he's so young.
Yeah.
Like he started so young. I started, I think he's 26 now. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still like,
but yeah, like I started at that age. He started when he was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
So I think especially the young guys like yourself, if you can start sooner, like a lot of people you might get some hate, but I think most people, like even me, I'll look at a young, I'm like, dude, good for you. Like, this is
same.
Up, you know?
It's like you're never gonna get hate from people that are doing like people that are actually crushing it. Like they're gonna cheer you on. Like when I see people win, I'm like, shit, that's good for you.
Yeah. And one other thing you said is I do think is really important. You know, when you see people who are successful, for me, it was Billie Jean. I remember I saw Billie Jean, and I just saw him. I was like, bro, like, come, like, no offense to Billie, I just like, bro, like this guy, come on, like this guy can do it, I can do it, and that inspired me. But then the other thing is, you know, when you're head down in your work, I've been more in that recently, but I remember, you know, sometimes getting on social, like that kind of creates all that bad moods because, you know, like you're seeing different stuff and then your head kind of goes there and then you're not focused on the work. So I would also say maybe to the younger crowd, like, don't be on social so much. Like the best way to use social is like, you're the creator, you're not the consumer.
Exactly.
Right. And, yeah, congrats on your success, man. Like, I can't wait to see where it goes. Like, I mean, it's crazy. You're married.
I can't wait till I'm your age.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's crazy. You even say that. Like, I try to think of myself not as an old guy, but you're making me feel old. So
I'm sorry.
Wait, if people want to find you or work with you, where can they find you?
At Real Joe McCarthy. So all social. Instagram is where I'm most active. So Instagram at Real Joe McCarthy.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, dude.